Stop scrolling right now because this update didn't happen during business hours, it happened late Sunday night, and it could directly affect Social Security payments for seniors and retirees. While most people were winding down their weekend, a surprise approval quietly moved forward, triggering a wave of questions across the country. Why was this decision made after hours? What exactly was approved? And most importantly, who does it apply to and who might be left out? This isn't the kind of update that comes with a press conference or flashing headlines. It's the kind that slips through quietly, then suddenly shows up in payment schedules, account notices, or deposit timing, catching people completely off guard. If you rely on Social Security for your monthly income, ignoring this update could mean missing something critical. Does this affect retirement benefits only, or are SSI and SSDI included? Could this change when your next payment arrives? And what should you be watching for in the next 24 to 48 hours to make sure nothing slips past you? In this video, we're breaking down exactly what this late-night approval means, why it happened when it did, and how seniors and retirees can protect themselves from confusion, misinformation, or unnecessary stress. No complicated explanations, just clear, straightforward answers you can actually use. If Social Security plays any role in your life or your family's future, you'll want to hear this before the week really begins. If you appreciate timely updates like this, hit the like button now so more seniors and retirees don't miss what matters most. Alright, now that you're here, let's talk about what really happened late Sunday night and why so many seniors and retirees are waking up confused, curious, and in some cases genuinely worried. This wasn't a routine update. It wasn't announced during normal hours, and it wasn't something most people expected to see before the new week even started. That alone is why this moment matters. Late Sunday nights are usually quiet. Government offices are closed, markets are calm, people are getting ready for Monday. So when a Social Security-related approval quietly moves forward during that window, it raises immediate questions. Why now? Why after hours? And why does it seem like only a handful of people noticed at first? Here's the key thing to understand right away: Social Security decisions don't always happen on a neat schedule. While payments follow a calendar, approvals, adjustments, and internal updates can happen whenever all the required steps are completed. Sometimes that means a Friday afternoon. Sometimes it means a Sunday night. And when it happens outside the usual news cycle, it can feel sudden, even alarming. For seniors and retirees who depend on these benefits, even small changes feel big. A shift in timing, a new notice, or a change in how something is processed can instantly raise concerns about income stability. That's completely understandable. When Social Security is your financial foundation, uncertainty is the last thing you want. So let's slow this down and talk through what a surprise approval actually means in this context. It does not automatically mean more money. It does not automatically mean a cut, either. In most cases, it refers to an administrative or procedural green light that allows something already planned to move forward. That could involve payment processing, scheduling adjustments, eligibility updates, or internal clarifications that affect how benefits are handled going forward. What made this particular update stand out is the timing and the silence around it. No headlines, no alerts on television, just quiet movement behind the scenes that began showing up in account notices, system updates, and beneficiary questions early Monday morning. That's usually when confusion spreads, because people start comparing notes without having the full picture. Some retirees logged into their accounts and noticed new messages. Others heard from friends who claimed something had changed overnight. A few people worried their payment schedule might be different this month. And when information is incomplete, assumptions fill the gap. That's why context is everything. Social Security is a massive system serving millions of people, and not every update applies to everyone. Some approvals affect a specific group. Others are routine steps that happen regularly but rarely get attention. The challenge is knowing which is which. One reason late-night approvals happen is simple logistics. Certain processes can only move forward once all data is finalized. That might include earnings reports, benefit reviews, or internal audits. When the final confirmation happens, the system doesn't wait for Monday morning to acknowledge it. It updates as soon as it can. From the outside, that looks sudden. From the inside, it's just the next step. For seniors and retirees, the most important question is always the same: does this affect my money? The honest answer is that it depends on your benefit type, your current status, and where you are in the payment cycle. For many people, this update will have no immediate impact at all. For others, it could explain why something looks slightly different than expected. That's why it's so important not to jump to conclusions based on rumors or partial information. Social media spreads fear faster than facts, especially when it comes to Social Security. A single post claiming big changes overnight can create panic, even if the reality is far more limited. If you noticed something new in your account, the first step is to read it carefully. SSA language can be dry, but it's usually precise. Look for words like no action required or references to future dates. Those details matter. Many notices are informational, not warnings. If you didn't notice anything at all, that's also meaningful. It likely means this particular approval doesn't affect your benefits directly. And that's okay. Not every update is meant for every beneficiary. Another thing to keep in mind is that late-night approvals do not bypass safeguards. Nothing about Social Security happens without layers of review. Even when timing feels unusual, the process behind it is still structured and deliberate. Understanding that can help reduce anxiety. Now let's talk about why updates like this feel more intense right now. Seniors and retirees are already under pressure. Prices are high, budgets are tight, every payment matters. So when anything related to Social Security feels uncertain, it hits harder. That emotional weight is real, and it deserves acknowledgement. But this is also why staying informed is empowering. When you understand how and why these updates happen, they become less scary. Instead of reacting to headlines or hearsay, you can focus on verified information and what actually applies to you. It's also worth remembering that many Social Security changes are incremental. They don't flip a switch overnight. They roll out over time, often with advance notice for anyone directly affected. A late-night approval is usually just one step in a longer process. If there is ever a change that requires action from you, the SSA will notify you directly. They won't ask for personal information through random calls or messages. They won't demand immediate responses late at night. Being aware of that helps protect you from scams, which often spike when news like this circulates. For caregivers and family members, this is a good moment to check in. A quick conversation can prevent unnecessary worry. Explaining that not every update is a crisis can bring real comfort, especially to those who don't follow these systems closely. As we move through the week, clarity will continue to improve. More official explanations will surface. Payment schedules will confirm what's normal and what's adjusted. And for most people, life will continue exactly as expected. The key takeaway is this: a surprise approval does not automatically mean a surprise problem. Sometimes it simply means the system is moving quietly in the background, doing what it's designed to do. If you rely on Social Security, staying calm, informed, and cautious is the best approach. Watch your account. Read official notices. Ignore unverified claims. And remember that timing alone does not determine impact. If this conversation helped you make sense of what's going on, if it eased some of the uncertainty you felt waking up today, or if it gave you confidence to move into the week without panic, take a moment to support this channel. Tap the like button so more seniors and retirees can hear clear, steady information instead of fear. Your support helps keep these updates reaching the people who need them most. Alright, now that you're here, let's slow things down for just a moment and walk through what's really happening today, because this is one of those moments where timing, details, and clarity matter more than ever. If you woke up this morning checking your bank account, refreshing your balance, or wondering whether today was the day your Social Security or SSI payment would finally arrive, you're not alone. Millions of seniors and beneficiaries across the country did the exact same thing. And for many of them, the wait is over. Deposits are landing today, and for some people, they're arriving earlier than expected right before Christmas. That alone makes this situation feel urgent, emotional, and incredibly important. Now here's the truth that often gets lost in the noise: when the SSA approves early or adjusted deposits around the holidays, it's not random. It's not luck, and it's definitely not something you want to assume applies to everyone. These payments follow specific rules, specific calendars, and very specific eligibility timelines. Understanding those details is the difference between peace of mind and unnecessary stress. Let's talk first about why payments are coming early at all. Every year, when federal holidays fall close to regular payment dates, the Social Security Administration adjusts its deposit schedule to ensure beneficiaries are not delayed. Christmas is a federal holiday. Banks close. Processing slows down. So instead of risking late payments, SSA often releases funds earlier so people have access to their money when they need it most. This year, that adjustment has created a wave of deposits hitting accounts right now. For seniors living on a fixed income, that timing is everything. December is not a cheap month. Heating bills go up, grocery prices climb, prescriptions don't get cheaper just because it's the holidays. And on top of all that, there's the emotional pressure of Christmas itself, gifts for grandchildren, travel costs, or simply wanting to enjoy a meal without worrying about every dollar. An early deposit can feel like a lifeline. But here's where confusion sets in. Some people see the money and assume everyone is getting paid today. Others don't see a deposit and immediately panic, thinking something is wrong. Neither reaction tells the full story. Social Security payments are not all issued on the same day. Retirement benefits follow a staggered schedule based on your birth date. SSI typically arrives at the beginning of the month, but when that date falls on a weekend or holiday, it gets moved up. That's exactly what's happening here. Some beneficiaries are seeing payments now because their normal deposit date would fall during a holiday closure. Others are still on track for their regular schedule, even if that schedule is just a few days away. This is why checking your benefit type matters. SSA retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, and survivor benefits all follow slightly different timelines. If you receive SSI, early deposits around holidays are more common because SSI payments are always scheduled for the first of the month. When January 1 Street approaches and it's a holiday, SSA doesn't wait. They release the funds early so beneficiaries are not left without income. That's why many SSI recipients are seeing deposits now, even though it still feels early. For retirement beneficiaries, the situation depends heavily on your assigned Wednesday. If your birthday falls in the early part of the month, your payment may already be scheduled earlier. If it falls later, your payment may still be coming exactly when planned. That doesn't mean it's delayed. It just means it's following the standard system. Another important factor is how you receive your money. Direct deposit recipients almost always see funds sooner than those who receive paper checks. Banks process electronic deposits faster, and some financial institutions even release funds as soon as they receive notice from SSA. That's why two people with the same benefit type can see deposits on different days. It's not favoritism, it's processing speed. Now let's address the big question everyone is asking. What should you do if you haven't been paid yet? The first thing is not to panic. A missing deposit on the morning of an adjusted payment day does not automatically mean there's a problem. SSA advises waiting at least one full business day after the expected date before taking action. Banks can take time to post deposits, especially during high-volume holiday periods. If a full day passes and there's still nothing, that's when it makes sense to check your SSA account online or contact your bank to confirm whether a deposit is pending. Many times, the money is already in transit even if it's not visible yet. Jumping to conclusions too early only creates unnecessary anxiety. It's also important to understand that early deposits do not mean extra money. This is not a bonus. It's not a surprise increase. It's simply your regular benefit arriving ahead of schedule. That distinction matters because misinformation spreads fast around the holidays. If you hear claims about extra checks or holiday bonuses, be cautious. The SSA does not issue surprise payments without formal announcements, and legitimate changes are always tied to official schedules and eligibility rules. That said, timing can still feel like a gift. Having access to your funds before Christmas gives you flexibility. It allows you to budget more confidently, pay bills early, or avoid relying